Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game number 2 here on Amazonia, and it will once again be a Night Elf versus Night Elf matchup between WarChiefRich and Sonik. Sonik spawning as the green Night Elf player on the top right hand side of the map under the name 123456789012345. Meanwhile, WarChiefRich playing under the much easier to say Huntress shaped. Now, what will we be seeing here in game number 2? Let's go ahead and break things down, as we are already opening up with an Altar of Elders, Moonwell, and Ancient of War from what I believe both sides. Now, in a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, it really does come down to a lot of execution. Last game, we saw a little bit of strategic gameplay difference in the positioning of their buildings. Having Moonwells in the middle of the map, but a little bit of the downside was the amount of damage that was mitigated by that Moonwell during Nightfall. Moonwells and Moonwell Juice or Moonwell Mana is perhaps a third resource in the game that is very difficult to maintain. It's only gathered at night, and if you use and absorb too much damage at night, when you do need that a little bit of extra health, you cannot. And to recover that a little bit of extra health, say during defense, if your Moonwells are bone dry, you will find that there is not much else in terms of home field advantage that Night Elf players can use. Short of uprooting their trees and trying to attack back, the Moonwells are the main natural defense. It is going to be a Demon Hunter versus Demon Hunter matchup this time around, so we will be seeing Mana Burn Wars 2014. Ancient of War currently just clearing out these trees here and going to start attacking back against this rogue creep camp. A little bit surprised that the archer has not gotten in position to try and grab a lightning shield. Lightning shield is very, very effective at dealing extra damage to these units. Let's take a look at this. There's a mana burn. Renegade Wizard is just going after the Ancient of War there, and I'm not quite sure. Well, perhaps the mana burn was what just took away all of the mana from that Renegade Wizard. Off to the north, you see the Demon Hunter of Sonik pretty much doing the same exact thing. Claws of Attack +6 compared to, I believe, a Gloves of Haste. And I believe there was also a little bit of difference in the tome that they received. Nope, actually both of them got a Manual of Health, I believe. So both of them getting an early Manual of Health. And we now see a Gauntlet of Ogre Strength over here by WarChiefRich. Now, the problem is that the Demon Hunter has not been able to pick up the Slippers of Agility, so he will actually be a bit behind compared to the Demon Hunter of WarChiefRich. Now, early exchanging blows, you can see the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength have the added benefit of really healing your hero for even more. The benefit of being able to drop those Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 and then pick them back up after you use those Moonwells is one of those Moonwell efficiency traits that is not available to any of the other races. Since it is a flat heal and then it is a percentage base once more, you can get an extra 75 hit points of healing. And as we see, wow, WarChiefRich, very interesting. He's going to actually leave the archer right there to try and take down this Wisp. This Wisp is actually just going to be stuck. Oh, there is the final blow, and it did end up wasting a bit of time, but still rather useful, as you see the Demon Hunter coming back in from the other side. The mana burn not going down between the two Demon Hunters this time around, as Huntresses are now once again being used. Now, Huntress, the rock, paper, scissors matchup is Archer, Huntresses, Dryads. As the armor types are rather different, the archers deal more damage to the the Huntresses deal more damage to the archer and have more hit points, but the Dryads deal more damage, and then once more the archers able to deal more damage back to the Dryads, as the Dryads cost a little bit more, and with the medium armor, the archers are able to absorb that piercing damage a little bit better. Double Slippers of Agility, as this Demon Hunter quickly escalates to +12 damage. That is extremely high already. Meanwhile, you see that the Demon Hunter here does not have any real base damage increase, but is attacking faster and can take more damage with those Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. What are we going to be looking at here as the Huntresses now make their way off to the north? it looks like both sides are just succumbing to creep wars, as creeping is extremely effective here, as you want to get every bit of resources that you can. Not only is there the additional experience making your hero stronger, but the little bit of extra gold can play a very big difference, say in trying to get your key tech buildings up, Ancient of Lore in particular in this particular instance. 3-on-3 Huntress action with the Demon Hunter, both sides mana burning. This is extremely well balanced so far, but the Demon Hunter of Sonik having those boots of speed, that means that he will be able to chase down those Huntresses, but at the same time, that also means that he can get ahead of himself. You never ever want your Demon Hunter to separate too quickly from the rest of the army, as the Demon Hunter can then get easily surrounded or in over their head. One of those dances where if you commit too much into a fight, all of a sudden your opponent can turn around and use that against you. Huntresses now coming in, Demon Hunters doing a quick mana burn there, and oh, there's a quick no surround, opting to not do a 4-unit surround, as that is perhaps one of the most difficult moves in Warcraft 3, instead wanting to quickly see if they can take down a number of key buildings as they're being built. And you also, on the other side of the map, you see a Scroll of Town Portal being used, as he needs to come back in a hurry. Scroll of Town Portal landing right on top of those Huntresses, but those Huntresses able to back off without a problem. Now, we are going to be looking at both of these players getting a feel for each other once more. No one's really trying to engage the other two, or no one's really trying to commit to a very long fight. And I really think whoever is able to creep while not taking damage will end up being the victor. Alright, are the Huntresses going to make their way back off to the north? Is Sonik going to perhaps pick up another no, he is not picking up a Naga Sea Witch like last game. He is instead going for that Keeper of the Grove, who does have a very long Entangle. Entangle is one of those spells that does damage over time, but more importantly stuns a target for an even longer bit of time. By stunning the target and removing that unit from the battle, you end up winning those early wars very quickly. The player who is able to shut down more Huntresses on the other side generally wins first, as there is a Huntress now getting ensnared. Alright, or sorry, entangled. Getting entangled, you can see that Huntress is not attacking back and suffering damage over time. Both sides now suffering, as looks as though, yes, WarChiefRich is going to be losing the first one, but instead you also see that the Demon Hunter is surrounded. That is a very big deal. There goes the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter at the cost of a Keeper of the Grove. A definite trade there, as another Huntress gets taken out. Dryad being magic immune, not having to worry about the Entangle at all. And oh, what a change things are, as we see WarChiefRich dealing a devastating blow, taking out a level 3 Demon Hunter. Level 1 Keeper of the Grove should be coming back in very quickly. Are we going to perhaps see another battle? There we go. Going to try and come back in. Keeper of the Grove does have Thorn's Aura, but these attacks are not melee, save for the Goblin Shredder. The Goblin Shredder is going to end up taking a little bit of Thorn's Aura. Everything else is just not going to be dealing that much here, as you can see another Huntress going to get taken out. Alright, Huntress is trying to do a little bit of turnaround and a little bit of turnaround fair play sort of action, as the Demon Hunter here now running all the way back. Alright, what's happening? It looks as though the Keeper of the Grove going to come back into play. The Keeper of the Grove is almost halfway to level 2, as we now see the Dryad coming in and getting in a little bit of slow poison damage once more. The Huntress, who was trying to pad the Keeper of the Grove, ending up taking a bit of damage there, as we're going to see a little bit of Moonwell healing come into play now. Now, in this Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, one of the worst things that you can have is the fact that if you get that Moonstone, you not only benefit yourself, you benefit your opponent. One of the strange concepts in Warcraft 3 in a Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match, where you cannot, I repeat, cannot just fill your Moonwells without helping your opponent. So both of them saying to themselves, you know what, whoever has better Moonwell management should come out ahead. And with WarChiefRich getting out, I believe, the first is he the first Druid of the Claw? No, he's not the first Druid of the Claw, but the rejuvenation is going to be very important. Let's take a look at this. Demon Hunter now running in Mana Burn critical onto a Druid of the Claw as he was now quickly out of mana. Abolish Magic from there. Keeper of the Grove taking in a Mana Burn as well, but that is quite not the same as this bear now needs to back off, taking a lot of damage here. Are we going to perhaps see the Dryad abolish magic off of the Keeper of the Grove? There we see another Mana Burn. Keeper of the Grove unable to save the Druid of the Claw, as that was a huge hit. Demon Hunter now trying to come back around. Are we going to see some more damage come in again? There you go. There is a critical roar, as the Dryads now need to be very careful about how much mana they have. Keeper of the Grove going after WarChiefRich. Oh, no, it's Sonik. Sonic's Demon Hunter falls for a second time, and that is a very big deal. The Demon Hunter unable to catch up. Now, meanwhile, the remaining unit, Staff of Preservation, saves the Druid of the Claw. And with that, pretty much getting another free Demon Hunter at level 3. That is going to put the other side in too much of a hole. It looks as though a Dryad may end up finishing off, yes, the Keeper of the Grove, purposely waiting for the poison damage to take into effect, as we now see a Mana Burn onto a Druid of the Claw. Oh, Druid of the Claw now quickly trying to just get away once again, as we see just back and forth action. Both sides pretty much using the same units, but just to different varying degrees of effectiveness. All right, Druid of the Claw, this one taking a bit too much damage. Needs to perhaps cast Rejuvenation on himself. Not going to be able to do so. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? I don't believe so at all. There is the Rejuvenation, as the Abolish Magic removed the Keeper of the Grove's Entangle and kept the Druid of the Claw's Rejuvenation again. So far, level 4 Demon Hunter, level 2 Keeper of the Grove for WarChiefRich. Meanwhile, Sonik sitting at a level 3 Keeper of the Grove and level 3 Demon Hunter. We are pretty much even until this Keeper of the Grove gets to level 3. Also, with a stronger Entangle, you saw how effective it was for Sonik to pick off those fleeing units. That is going to be very important in the upcoming steps as the Keeper of the Grove gets to level 3. That Tome of Agility should be picked up by the Demon Hunter. He needs to come back and grab it. That additional +2 damage and the additional 0.6 armor could play a very big role in the upcoming fight. All right, let's take a look. Keeper of the Grove picking up a Scroll of Healing as well, as we are now moving on for a very large push. Keeper of the Grove almost level 4 himself, as the Demon Hunter is now back out on the field. +17 damage with that Orb of Venom, but is it gonna be enough? Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter has that +8 damage, but attacks slightly faster as well. We see a large number of Druid of the Claws, and with so many Druid of the Claws, that Thorn's Aura is going to be playing a very big role. All right, Granite Golem is out in play. Is the Demon Hunter perhaps going to try and bite off a little bit more than they can chew in terms of creeping action? And there you go. You can see that the Druid of the Claw purposely staying in Druid form, hoping to get a little bit more mana for the upcoming fight. Remember, though, this is a bit of a double-edged sword. We do have the Mana Burn in play, so that is an easy 100 damage that the Demon Hunter can try and just melt with on the other side. So far, 96, 400 mana on one, 300 on another, 166 on another. Meanwhile, we see that Sonik is leaving all of his bears in bear form, and with that, a significantly less amount of mana on each of those Druids of the Claw. However, they are dealing a little bit more damage and are able to clear the creep counts out significantly faster as well. Vampiric Aura, Scourge Bone Chimes being added to the Keeper of the Grove, and that is going to be an absolutely huge item to try and negate the damage of that Thorn's Aura. All right, Staff of Preservation. So far, both sides just being very happy to they are just creeping out the map and not really caring what the other opponent is doing. I don't know who that really benefits at this point. We have level 4, level 3 against level 4, level 3. And what is surprising at this point is how close this matchup is, even though Sonik lost his level 3 hero twice. I would have expected that Sonik would be much further behind, but instead he played that Keeper of the Grove extremely well. Even though in terms of total experience they are significantly behind, He's played this extremely well, and now we are just waiting to see how all these things are going to unfold. As a good Warcraft 3 player, you want to make sure that you are not going to be in an unfavorable position when you get, if and when you get creepjacked. There you have it. There is the other side. There's a mana burn onto the Druid of the Claw there. And now you see the Granite Golem actually chasing back a little bit. This could be a very big deal, as this Granite Golem does do a significant amount of chaos damage. So far, we do see rejuvenations come in. The Demon Hunter is trying to test the waters, figuring out what exactly his opponent's doing. Does he have a favorable matchup? Can he engage in this position here? There is a mana burn on both sides. There is that Entangle. The Entangle is such a big deal as rejuvenations go down, roars going down, bears after bears, bear after bear, and you can quickly see the Abolish Magic doing a great job there. No detonation at all, as the entire army is going to be picking themselves up and going away. With this, Sonik has a very small window of opportunity to try and clear out this creep camp. However, if he does not do a good job, he is going to find himself in a world of hurt, as he is just taking a big slam there. Rock Golems are getting taken down, and a lot of the units are now coming back over. Are we going to see a big push here? Tomo Strength +2, as we see a bear quickly getting focused down, even though it was just an illusion. And there goes the Demon Hunter as well. Mana Burn gets just mana burned away, as this one low hit point Druid of the Claw may get stabbed of Preservation. Scroll of Healing popped instead after the Demon Hunter overcommits. This is actually a little bit bad here. Now he really doesn't have that many good targets to go after, as the Dryad now finally goes down. Entangle onto the Druid of the Claw. Demon Hunter now trying to make its way over. Demon Hunter is at level 5 and is able to save the units again. And what is going on here? The lines have completely broken, as the Keeper of the Grove is trying to move away again. Oh, Demon Hunter gets a rejuvenation and takes down the Demon Hunter and a bear. Those units were chasing far too far, and I guess going after the hero a bit too much, and now all of a sudden the Demon Hunter can take down all of these units. Druid of the Claw taking a big mana burn right there, gets taken out. Demon Hunter almost at level 6. And with that, I believe things are nearly over. All right, mana burn perhaps going down on the Druid of the Claw here. Druid of the Claw down to 800 some odd hit points, as the Keeper of the Grove is desperately trying to head back over and does get those Moonwells in time. There is another Entangle on that Druid of the Claw here. Druid of the Claw pretty much neutralized for the time being, and Abolish Magic to remove the rejuvenation, but he is still absorbing damage. Once that Entangle does go down, things are going to be a very different story, as we now see another Staff of Preservation come in. Entangles all over the map right now. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 5. Perhaps a mana burn from the Demon Hunter, if he actually had mana, would have been a very smart call. All right, there goes one bear. It looks like that bear pretty much killed by Entangle, as Sonik is using that level 5 Entangle to great success. Level 4 Keeper of the Grove doesn't have any more mana. You can see 3 bears in total currently entangled. This bear may get taken down, and now the Demon Hunter gets another mana burn off. Staffs of Preservation should be used on many of those lower hit point bears. Get them back home. Get them back in the Druid form so they can rejuvenate more units. Back off to the north, a couple of Wisps. Nothing to really look at there. A couple of Moonwells in the back there that do have some mana, and it may be up to the Druid of the Claw that have mana in order to heal back everyone else significantly. Demon Hunter. You can see Druids of the Claw. So far, so good. Oh, there is another Entangle. There's a rejuvenation. I'm not quite sure where the Keeper of the Grove went. Oh, Keeper of the Grove going back off to the north here. Are we going to perhaps see some detonations? As the Keeper of the Grove still running around. No detonation. Oh, yes, there's a detonation in time, as the Keeper of the Grove sitting at 750 hit points now. Units moving off north. They are pretty much healed back up. They may end up staying in Druid form to regenerate that mana for the upcoming fight. You can see that a number of low hit point units. What's going to be happening here? Not enough mana, pretty much. As that Druid of the Claw has plenty of mana. We should see a rejuvenation on the Demon Hunter as well. Yep, there we go. And everyone is just going to be massing back up again. All right, Bear is attempting to take down the Granite Golem. Demon Hunter, sitting at level 4, picks up a Crystal Ball, perhaps one of the most useless level 9 drop items. Yes, it does reveal where your opponent is, but at this stage in the game, you know you're not going to be using Shadow Meld, and I think that Sonic's only hope was actually picking up a very, very useful item, quickly sells it, and gets an anti-magic potion instead. Here we are. This may be the final fight. Mana burn on both sides. Entangle onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter pretty much going to get surrounded right here, taking a bit of damage. Staff of Preservation does save it, as we are now looking into a very, very big push. Another mana burn. The Demon Hunter using the mana potion, and now chaos damage with range, as this Demon Hunter with Roar dealing terrible, terrible damage to all of the ground units. And a very strong range unit is exactly what you don't want to be seeing right now if you are Sonic. You want a very, very well-established line in a strong choke point. This Demon Hunter can actually back himself off and still engage against everything, taking the victory there. A narrow victory. Unit scores were very close. It was just the death of heroes that made things just heavily favored for WarChiefRich. Stay tuned for game number 3 in this best of 3 series between WarChiefRich and Sonic, as we are all tied up at 1 game apiece.